obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudiraye. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Śrīla Vyasadeva, the author of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in the classes on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Namo Pankajanaභāya Nama Pankajamaline Nama Pankajanitraya Namaste Pankajangriye. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 10, Prahlad Maharaj, the best amongst the exalted devotees. So we read till text number 36 yesterday, and we were discussing that how Lord told Brahma that please don't give such boons to less worthy people or people who are envious because they use it for the wrong purpose. If the knife is given to a thief or a murderer, he will kill others. But the same knife given to an intelligent doctor, he would use it to save others. The knife is not bad, but the consciousness, the intent with which it is used makes the whole difference. So finally, everyone goes back, Lord Nrsimhadev goes back, and then the other demigods and everyone goes back to their respective places. So let's see what happens. Text number 37. Here's a brief description of Lord Ramchandra's pastimes, because the two Jai and Vijay in the first Satyuga, they became as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, then later came as Ravana and Kumbhakara. So that description is mentioned in brief. Let's study that. Text number 37. Shayano yuddhi nirbhinna hridayau rama shayakaim tacchittau jahatur deham yatha praktana janmani. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Pierced by the arrows of Lord Ramachandra, both Kumbhakarna and Ravana lay on the ground and left their bodies fully absorbed in the thought of the Lord, just as they had in their previous births as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So Ram Leela starts in the previous verse, ends in this verse. So it's a very brief description, because Parikshit Maharaj and of course Yudhishthira Maharaj and everyone has been hearing Ram Leela or the pastimes of Lord Ram from their very, very childhood. And we discussed Yudhishthira Maharaj was told by Narada Muni, you hear in great detail about Lord Ram's pastimes from Markandeya Rishi in the first few chapters. So very, very brief description that how Lord Ram killed this demon Ravana, and they were absorbed in the thought of the Lord. As Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu were also absorbed, and in the beginning we read that how even as in an unfavorable way they were absorbed. They were thinking, oh, Ravana was thinking want to kill Ram, as Hiranyakashipu was thinking to kill Vishnu. So That's better than not thinking, but that's not the devotee style, although it is one of the ways. But as Vaishnavas, as aspiring sadhakas, we must think in a favorable way. Anukulina Kṛṣṇa, not pratikul. Anukul means favorable, pratikul means unfavorable. Mata Yashoda, she was not thinking of harming Krishna. She was always thinking of how to protect Krishna from the danger. That's favorable way. Any other comments, questions anyone has? Okay, let's read the next verse, text 38. Anyone who has not read at least 2 times this week, because we are going in the second round, so I would like to read. Yes, Prabir Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Text 38. Ta iha atha punar jatau shishupala kaursaja harau boira anubandhena pasyastaste shamyatu. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. They both took birth again in human society as Shishupal and Dantavakra, and continued in the same enmity toward the Lord. It is they who merged into the body of the Lord in your presence. Purport. Boira anubandhena. Acting like the Lord's enemy is also beneficial for the living entity. Kamad deshat bhayat snehat. Whether in lusty desire, anger, fear or envy of the Lord, somehow or other, as recommended by Srila Rupa Goswami, tasmat kanapi upayeno. One should become attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and ultimately achieve the goal of returning home back to Godhead. What then is to be said of one who is related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a servant, friend, father, mother, or conjugal lover? Hare Krishna. So here, Srila Narad Muni is explaining that the 3 births, and he's telling Maharaj Yudhishthir that Shishupal and Dantavakra came in the human society and they have the same enmity toward the Lord, and they merged into the body. And Srila Prabhupada here is explaining that Boiranu Anubandhena. It's like Boira. Boira means here, Boira Anubandhena, by the bondage of considering the Lord an enemy. In that bhava they came. And Prabhupada here is explaining, even someone come with a lusty desire or anger or fear or envy of the Lord, they are also, somehow or other, they are actually thinking about the Lord. So I thought, like lusty desire, we see that I just want to share the pastimes of Shuparnakha. She came as a lusty desire towards Lord Ramchandra. And we can see Lord's compassion here, because in that avatar, Krishna decided that he is going to take only one wife. So they Lakshman cut her nose so that disfigured her actually, so that she cannot be enjoyed by anybody else. And when we see in the next life, she became Kuja, and by her service, she satisfied Lord Krishna, and Krishna accepted her. So we can see here that even someone comes with lusty desire, somehow or other, the Krishna accepted, Lord accepted them. So even anger, envy, we see that Ravan was very envious. But he did the service to Krishna, as Srila Prabhupada was explaining before also, that under the illusion, Srivilas Prabhu yesterday nicely explained that that illusion is under the illusion of Yogamaya. They became enemy and then they served the Lord actually. So here we can see that Krishna is so merciful. Even somehow or other, if someone is just thinking about of Krishna give them this service to serve him and then fulfill their desire. Hare Krishna Prabhu, back to you. Please add or correct.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Actually, it is not easy to become enemy of Krishna. The enemy who is always thinking of Krishna. And I was just thinking, look at Ravana. He had so much anger to or desire to kill Lord Ram. And actually he was, he's Sarvadharman Parityaja. He sacrificed his kingdom, he sacrificed his army, he sacrificed his children, he sacrificed everything. But he never gave up his anger towards Lord Ram. So actually, in one way, we can say that's like complete shelter. Because if someone says, oh, I am angry towards you, but at the cost of, will you give up your anger if I take your car? Is your anger more important or the car more important? You say, no, I don't want to give up my car. Okay, we are friends now. Don't take my car. Right? Day after day, the greatest generals of the Ravana's armies were dying. Day after day, each and every child of Ravana was dying. Mandodari and other wives also gave good counsel. Vibhishana gave good counsel. Everyone gave good counsel, but Ravana didn't give up his anger. So in one way, we can learn the attachment. And that is the goal of life, Prabhupada is mentioning here. One should become attached to the Supreme Personality of God and ultimately achieve the goal of returning home. So what is the goal of life? This is the goal of life, attachment towards Krishna. We can take lessons from Ravana and Hiranyakashipu, but not that kind of attachment, but in a favorable way. Of course, Mother Yashoda could not think of Krishna for a moment. Eating, sleeping, doing household chores. Every moment she was talking about Krishna, singing about Krishna, thinking about Krishna, cooking for Krishna, making clothes for Krishna, thinking, when will Krishna come from the forest? Is my child safe? So attachment, complete attachment, that is the goal of life. People blaspheming the Lord has hope then? That's a question. Yes. If they say, oh, Hare Krishna people are crazy, they said Hare Krishna. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, there were two articles, a famous story most of you might have heard. One article, they were praising God. God is great. God is nice. Some philosophy and little bit God with a pinch of God in it. Neutral and little positive article. In the other verse was they were directly using, Hare Krishna people are crazy and Hare Krishna is this. They're dancing on the streets. They don't know. So it is not the best thing, but it is called Agyat Sukruti. There's one verse. Even if one says, it's like a harami. It's kind of a little abusive word. But Krishna says, oh, I just take hara in there. Oh, he chanted hare or hara. Vishwamitra Muni, or sorry, Valmiki, Daku Ratnakar, Kuncha and Ram said Mara, 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 Mara. There is hope for everyone. That is the magnanimity and the ocean of mercy. And especially in this day and age, who were Jagai and Madai? They were blasphemers. Who was the prostitute Hirabai? She was also not great character. What about Ajamil? So there have been countless examples also to prove that the people who have been even not so favorable or even totally against, how they become Krishna conscious. So yes, there is hope. That doesn't mean we follow them. That does not mean we encourage them in their, based on time, place, situations. We do our best and help them. Does that help? Does that answer? Anyone wants to
Thank you, Prabhuji.
share? Okay, let's read the next verse, text 39. Someone like to read who is not read?
I can read.
Nice.
Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna devotees, downward pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text 39. Ena purva kritam ta yat tat rajana Krishna boirina johute ante tat atmana kito peshakrito jatha. Translation purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Not only Shishupal and Dantavakra, but also many other kings who acted as enemies of Krishna attained salvation at the time of death. Because they thought of the Lord, they received spiritual bodies and forms the same as His. Just as worms captured by a black drone obtain the same type of body as the drone. Purport. By mystery of yogic meditation is explained here. Real yogis always meditate on the form of Vishnu within their heart. Consequently, at the time of death, they give up their bodies while thinking of the form of the Vishnu and thus attain Vishnu Loka. Vaikuntha Loka, where they receive bodily features the same as those of the Lord. From the 6th canto, we have already learned that when the Vishnu Dutas came from Vaikuntha to deliver Ajamil, they looked exactly like Vishnu, with 4 hands and the same features as Vishnu. Therefore, we may conclude that if one practices thinking of Vishnu and is fully absorbed in thinking of him at the time of death, one returns home back to Godhead. Even enemies of Krishna who thought of Krishna in fear, bhav, such as King Kamsa, receive bodies in spiritual identity similar to that of the Lord. So this is the continuation of the previous verse, and we see that people who unfavorably thinking of Krishna, they also get the liberation. So what to speak about the devotees who are very dear to Lord, definitely will go back to the Vishnu Loka and get Sharup. Here it is told that the form have been thinking, they'll get the same form of Vishnu, like means Sharupa Mukti. So definitely attachment to the Lord anyway is ultimately gives dividend, but being a devotee, we can get the most. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So The famous verse from Bhagavad Gita, Antakale chamam meva smaran muktva kalevaram. Ya prayati samadbhava yati natri atra sanshaya. Yati nasti. There is no doubt. If one is thinking of Krishna at the time of death, he will attain the same bhava. That means he will attain back home, back to Godhead. And the next verse says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhava. Whatever one remembers at the end of one's life, if one is thinking of enjoyment, one is thinking of money, woman, child, some job, one will become that. The famous story of, who's that? The person who becomes a dog in his own house. I forgot his name. Kalia? No. Kailash, yeah. Kailash story, we did the drama also. So the point here is the analogy is also given, the worm's analogy, that how he's meditating upon that, constantly thinking, Ravana, constantly thinking, I want to kill, where is Kamsa, where is Krishna, where is my Kal, send him, what is he doing? I sent Trinavrat, what happened to him? I sent Akasur, what happened to him? Did he kill Krishna? What is he doing now? What's the news for Krishna? Always meditating upon that. Complete absorption. Tasmat kenapi upayena. Kenapi means, that this comes in the previous verse, by hook or crook. Always thinking of Krishna's. Smartavya satatam Vishnu vismartavya na jatuchit. Sarve vidhi nishedasyor etayor eva kinkara. There are only two things in life. Always remember Krishna. Satatam smartavya Vishnu. Vismartavya, don't forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna, don't forget Krishna. That is the sum and substance of all rules and regulations. All the rules and regulations are meant to achieve that status, achieve that goal, to develop attachment, to develop always remembering Krishna's state. Easier said than done. Even while chanting, we have a hard time to remember Krishna. While chanting also, the mind is thinking of office, what to cook, what to clean, what planning different tasks, to-do list. Kamsa was not like that. Shishupal was not like that. Ravana was not like that. Eating, sleeping, they were always thinking of Krishna or Rama. So they are at very high level in that way, in their attachment to Krishna. They could not think of anything else than Krishna. And of course, on a positive side, we have the gopis. They say, even for a moment when they blink, they're blaming the eyes blink, they're blaming, oh Brahmaji, why you made eyelids? For that 14th of a second, we are not able to see Krishna. So that's a very high level, but that should be our aspiration. And Prabhupada showed that. It's not that it is just, and all the pure devotees show by their example, that they are always Krishna conscious. Eating, sleeping, traveling, doing anything, they are Krishna conscious. So there is hope for us as well. That's why we are here. Any other comments, questions anyone has? Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, just Hare Krishna, one thing, like in last question about the blasphemy. I mean, the main problem with that, we should not blaspheme the devotees, because this is the one of the first offense of the Nama Aparat. But I mean, blasphemy to Krishna may not happen anything. Krishna will forgive us, but he will not forgive us if we blaspheme his devotee or if we blaspheme the Vedic literatures. Hare Krishna, go back to you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. That's a perfect point to talk about now. Recently, you may have already seen there is a kind of a sign in kind of going on. One movie has come and they're saying Krishna and his Leela, pointing to the Supreme Lord Krishna, that how he was dancing with girls and had thousands of queens and many, in the modern language, so-called girlfriends. So the point is, it is certainly inappropriate to even think on that direction. And but the point is, what should we do? So on the positive side, people are talking Krishna name. That is eternal credit. That's absolutely, there is no doubt in that. They're like in the early days of ISKCON, there was a song by Devanand, like Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, and then there are multiple movie songs in Bollywood. They have these lyrics, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, something like that. Then and then there was a song that the people get drunk and then they sing Hare Krishna, something like that. So it was not the right message, and people thought that ISKCON people, are like intoxicated, and then they are dancing and doing Hare Krishna Kirtan. So, but that led to in kind of people trying to explore to see what these ISKCON people are doing, because that was new, and new American, you know, devotees, as Prabhupada said, the dancing white elephants coming. The people were already inquisitive to see, because they were always wanted to explore what the white people are doing. So that led to positive aspects. So now, what should we do? I mean, certainly whatever is in our control, we should. Whatever is in our circle of influence, we must try. So, because if someone is preaching a wrong message, it is the duty as Vaishnavas to defend that as well. Because in that movie, what they're saying, that the nonsense romance of this day and age is same as Krishna with gopis, which is the absolute perverted reflection. That's why we're in this material world. So we have to, whatever is in our circle of influence, we must do. At least we can, some friends may come and ask, what is this going on? We should be in a position to at least defend the position. Of course, Krishna does not need his position to be defended. If I spit on the sun, will sun be bothered about it? I'm spitting on myself. So people with totally sense gratification mentality think of something of Krishna. Krishna is least bothered. He is always busy in his Nitya Leela. Maya Devi is sufficient to take care of everyone. But nonetheless, we are a preaching mission. We don't want innocent people to be misguided. That is one of the objectives. We don't want innocent people, because it's easy to be carried away by the negative energy faster than the positive energy. So at least we can preserve the faith of innocent people. If everyone, does their part, if I know two people and I help them to understand in the right way what I have learned, then at least I did my part. So we must do something based on our capacities. Okay, let's move on to the next verse. Text number 40. Would someone like to read this? Anyone who has not read at least twice for this week? Today is Friday. Yes, Gopal, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Text number 40. Yatha Bhagavato Bhaktya Paramaya Vida Nripaschedya daya satmyam Haristaschintayas Yayuya. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By devotional service, pure devotees who incessantly think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead receive bodies similar to his. This is known as Sarupya Mukti. Although Sishupal, Dantavakra, and other kings thought of Krishna as an enemy, they also achieved the same result. Purport. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, in connection with Lord Chaitanya's instruction to Sanatan Goswami, it is explained that a devotee should externally execute his routine devotional service in a regular way, but should always inwardly think of the particular mellow in which he is attracted to the service of the Lord. This constant thought of the Lord makes the devotee eligible to return home back to Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Tyaktva deha punarjanma naiti mam eti. After giving up his body, a devotee does not again receive a material body, but goes back to Godhead and receives a spiritual body resembling those of the Lord's eternal associates, whose activities he followed. However, the devotee likes to serve the Lord. He may constantly think of the Lord's associates, the cowherd boys, the gopis, the Lord's father and mother, his servants, and the trees, lands, animals, plants, and water in the Lord's abode. Because of constantly thinking of these features, one acquires a transcendental position. Kings like Sishupal, Dantavakra, Kamsa, Pundur, Pundu, Pondraka, Narkasura, Salva were all similarly delivered. This is confirmed by Madhvacharya. Pondrake Narke Chaiva Salve Kamsa Cha Rukmini Avistastu Harir Bhaktas Tadbhaktyam Harir Apire. Pondraka, Narkasura, Salva, Kamsa were all inimical towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because all these kings constantly thought of him, they achieved the same liberation, Sarupya Mukti. The Jnana Bhakta, the devotees who follow the path of Jnana, also attain the same destination. If even the enemies of the Lord achieve salvation by constantly thinking about the Lord, what is to be said of pure devotees who always engage in the Lord's service and who think of nothing but the Lord in every activity? Thank you, Prabhu. Back to you.
Thank you, Gopal Prabhu. So, Sarupya. Amongst the 5 types of muktis, Sarupya is one. Sa means same. Sama, Sarva Bhuteshu. Sa in English also is same, right? Same. This comes from the same Sanskrit. Sa. Sa means equipoise. So Sarupya or equal. Equal. Rup means form. So the Vaikuntha Vasis, as we read in the previous verse as well, when they came to see Ajamil, they had the same form, the four-handed form, carrying Shankha Chakra, Gada Padma, very beautiful form. So all these demons who were inimical towards the Lord, but they were absorbed in anger or the chivalry spirit, they were completely absorbed. As a result, they attained that form. Now, the point is, this is called Kaimutya Nyaya. Nyaya means logic. Kim Uti Nyaya. Let's say if a person who is supposed to give a punishment, if the government gives him or her a reward for, let's say, 10,000 gold coins, what will you say to that government? A person who did something wrong and was supposed to be given some punishment, rather than giving a punishment, that person gets a reward. What will you say? That's actually the golden age of Kali Yuga. Jagai and Madai, who were the worst of the criminals, worst criminals get the topmost Krishna prema. This is called Kaimutyanai. What will be the destination of the topmost devotee? Can we expect that? If a person who is not performing or hardly, is so inimical towards the Lord and causing havoc in the society, that person gets Sarupya Mukti. What to speak of the position of devotees? Aho bakiham sthanakalakutam jegham saya apyayad api asadvi lebhe gatim dhatrim uchitam tatonyam kam va dayalu sharanam brajima. The two verses which the disciples of Vyasadeva, we were talking about Vyasadeva last week, spoke to his son. Who was that? Shukdev Goswami. When he took birth, he didn't stay at home. When the disciples of Vyasadeva spoke two verses, and one of them was this verse. Aho batiham sthanakalakutam putana, who came to feed poison to Kṛṣṇa. She got the position of nurse. Is feeding poison. If someone comes to us and say, hey, I want to feed you poison, I want to kill you, what will we give him? Will we give him our car? Or will we give him, hey, there's a bungalow for you. My home is now your home. All the nice things I have is yours. Who will do like that? Anyone? No one will do. Only Kṛṣṇa does that. So the person who came to kill Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa gave the position of the mother. What to speak of Mata Yashoda? What to speak of the great devotees? That's called the Kaimutya logic, Kaimutya Nyaya. So, and that's the last line. What to be said of the pure devotees who are always engaged in the Lord's service and who think of nothing but the Lord in every activity? So if the enemies, if the people who are against the Lord are getting such glorious position, what to speak of the pure devotees? So it's kind of a unfathomable question. It's kind of like we cannot even imagine the destination or what will they get. That's Kṛṣṇa. So it's the beauty of Kṛṣṇa. That's the opulence of Kṛṣṇa. That's the compassion of Kṛṣṇa. Okay, who will tell the 5 types of muktis? We discussed one type. Who will tell the other 4? Anyone? You can raise your hand or speak. Yes, Gopal Prabhu wants to share. Okay, Sundari Priya Mataji wants to share. Gopal Prabhu, please tell.
Mataji can go ahead.
Yeah, she wants you to go ahead.
All
So
right,
you could.
thank you. I heard of the 5 kind of liberation. The first one is the Salokya. The second one is the Samipya. Third one is Sarupya. Fourth is the Sarsti. And 5 is the Sayujya. Thank you, bro.
Can you elaborate for everyone's benefit?
What I understood, Salokya is after material liberation. One is promoted to the planet where Krishna resides. I'm not very sure. The second one is the Samipya, where the entity remains as an associate of Krishna. The third one, the Sarupya, is basically attaining the 4-handed form of the Lord, which we discussed right now. And Sarsti is attaining the opulences like that of the Lord. Sayujya is basically merging into the what you call the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. It's correct, Prabhu.
Very nice. Very nice. So see, all the words are made up of Sa, Loka. Loka means planet. Sa, Loka, same planet. Sa, Mipa is basically close, proximity. become an associate of the Lord. Sameep, in Hindi also is a word Sameep. Sa Rupya, same Rup. Sarshti, Chaturvida bhajante mam, janamam sukritin arjuna. Arthi jigyasi, artharthi, yani cha bharatarshab artha. Wealth. And then Sa Yujya, Yuj, join, merge. So to join with Krishna, impersonal liberation. As you rightly said, Brahman effulgence, trying to get there. So these are the 5 types. In the Vaishnava school, we don't talk about, or we don't aspire at least to the Sayujya. That's the Mayavad philosophy. But we understand that the Brahman realization is not different. Brahman is also, it's all complete. But the realization, if one says just no, Krishna is impersonal, that's incomplete. We don't say Krishna is personal or impersonal, because if he's something which is not, then it means Krishna is not complete. He's not Purna. We say Om Purnamada Purna. He's all Purna. So yes, the impersonal, it is not something illusion. It is the effulgence of the Lord. So it is the aspect of the Lord, but yeah, the complete understanding is the personal. Very nice. Any other comments or questions before we move on to the next verse? Okay, let's study the next verse, text 41. I would like to read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavad Pranam, all praise to Srila Prabhupada. Text number 41. Ahai yuktam sarvam etate yanmam tvam pariprastavan dham kosha sutadinam hare satyam apidvisam. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Jai. Everything you ask me about how Shishupala and others attained salvation, although they were inimical, has now been explained to you by me. Hare Krishna Prabhu, self-explained. You can elaborate. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. This all Leela started from chapter 1. When Yudhishthir Maharaj saw in the courtyard Shishupal entering the body of the Lord, then his curiosity had increased. How come? An evil person who's always cursing Krishna and saying all bad stuff, desiring to kill and get the topmost destination which great yogis can't get. Now, Narad Muni is saying, everything you asked me, I have explained so nicely in almost 10 chapters. Not just the Shishupal Leela, but also primarily the Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad Maharaj's pastime. So it has been nicely explained. Perfect question, perfect answer. Perfect guru, perfect disciple. That's a very healthy combination. We should ask questions in the right spirit that inspires the teacher. Just think about if you're anyone you are serving, whether it's your son, your daughter, your anyone, if you're trying to explain something and they just stay silent, they don't even give any, will you be inspired to speak? Will you be inspired? No. The guru and the disciple inspires the guru, and the guru inspires the disciple. It's a mutual relationship. The right seeker inspires. So we must ask the questions in the right spirit, with right intentions, and how Narad Muni was so inspired to speak the glories of Prahlad Maharaj, Nrsimhadev. And now he's kind of coming, this chapter is coming to a closing. This whole pastime is coming to a closing. Any other comments, questions anyone has?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a small doubt on the previous verse, Prabhuji. It mentioned the king's name like Shishupal, Dandavakra, Kamsa, Paundraka, Nargashura, and Salva. So I was just thinking that did all these kings have any history that they were the devotees of Krishna, like Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, or few were devotees and few were the enemies? Like any details that they were devotees of Krishna in past life?
It's a very nice question. Of course, some we have read. There's, I don't know all the details, so I can certainly ask, or when we have senior devotees coming, unless someone wants to share something. Shishupal and Dantavakra we know from the story. They are Jay and Vijay. And others, I don't know. Maybe. Because even to come as an associate of Krishna or to fight with Krishna is not an ordinary thing. Ultimately, it is all a transcendental drama. So I don't know the specific history, but the general philosophy is that whenever Krishna comes, his entourage also comes. Like Nato Natya Dharo Yatha. Like the main hero goes, the side roles also go. Right? It's not that the hero is acting in the movie and there is no other characters. Yes, there is a main hero and there is a main villain, but there are other secondary villains or the gang kind of group, and then things like that. So yes, the general principle is that they're all arranged by the Lord, but to be more specific, I don't know the specifics behind it.
Yes, Prabhuji, because Paundraga, I like came across a story that he was announcing to the world that he was Krishna. He was like pretending or just doing all the makeup and everything like Krishna. But the Salva, is this the one that comes in Mahabharata? I'm not sure about that. They mentioned the name Salva.
Shalva, yes, all these were demons, of course. I thought you were going in their previous life.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, of course, for the previous. Because as you mentioned, to be killed by the hand of Krishna, they should be so fortunate. So that's why I asked the question whether they were devotees in previous.
They were all like Narakasura had stolen all the queens. And there's a famous pastime that when Jambavant, when we were fortunate to go in that Jambavant Gufa last year actually, when we went to the Dwarka Yatra, there's a Gufa in Porbandar where Krishna fought with Jambavant. And while he was coming, on the way, he met Narakasura and killed and then married 16,000 queens, which Narakasura had stolen. That's how Krishna get married to 16,000, because he is the one to give. He's the ultimate pati of everyone. He's the supreme master. Otherwise, who would have married them? So Narakasura had so stolen the queens. Again, I can, if you want more details, I can share that pastime sometime. But on the way, he gets married. So Jambavanti is the wife of Jambavant, and then coming from Jambavant Gufa to this Dwarka, he gets married to Sushma. Silas Prabhu has nicely mentioned that Kamsa's previous birth was Kala Nemi. So they had their history. Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Any other comments, additions, questions? Okay, so we will stop here. Today is Friday, and as we have wonderful guest speakers on weekends, so this week we have our Grace Nandan Kishori Mataji will be talking about Prabhupada's pastimes, and then His Grace Charu Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple from Utah. So we are so fortunate to receive such nectar. So please join in the morning at 9 a.m. We will continue tomorrow morning. Shri Nrsimha Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Granthra Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai,
Jai.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta
Jai.
Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.